5.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Crystal Township Fire Commission meeting to order. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. We have all the commissions present. Usually this meeting is on a Thursday night, but we had commissioners that were not going to be in town tomorrow, so we determined that in order to make sure that we had a full commission, we would actually be conducting the meeting this evening. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? If not, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order. Moved by Bringard, is there support? Second by Murdoch. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Approval of the agenda, we just did. Public comment, we're doing something a little bit different now. Obviously, we're providing public comment at the beginning of the meeting as well as at the end. So now in our agenda, you'll see that people can come to the meeting at the beginning and give us public comment, or at the end. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to provide public comment at this part of the meeting? All right. Moving on, we have approval of the February 2025 meeting minutes. Those are in your packet. If you review them, if they look like they're acceptable, or if there's modifications, please let us know. And then eventually we'll need a motion to approve.
Motion made.
Motion to approve by Cornhuffel. Is there support? Support by Bringard. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Expenses, Chief.
As I've said it before, the fire department operates on 2 dedicated millages. Steadfast support from the Groseville residents time and time again to approve those millages. We take no money, we ask for no money from the general fund. All expenditures are within limits. I would like to say that over the last couple of weeks, the fire department has been participating in the budgetary process with the township, and in the spirit of transparency, those meetings have occurred in front of the public. I can say that the expenditures for the fire department year after year, the last year only increased 1.79%. That's a tremendous statistic considering all the inflationary periods that we have gone through. We have doubled the size of the fire department at an increase of 1.79%. To do that is a very, very good fiscal policy. As you know, I've mentioned before, Chief Murdoch, Chief Boudre have all participated in the capital improvement placement plan that we've had in place for decades. With a 1.79% increase in budget and increasing the size of the fire department twofold, that is only an increase of $21,000. So all I can say is when it comes to expenses, the fire department, with the help of the commission and the board, we have a very good fiscal policy in place.
Any questions of the chief with regards to February 25 expenses? If not, a motion to approve, that would be in order.
Motion.
Motion by Murdoch. Is there support?
Second.
Support by Cornhuffel. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Motion carried. Discussion items. Chief, you have 3 of them. Chief's report, meeting dates that we have to inform the residents of, and then obviously we will take the, we will talk about the, I guess, chair of the fire commission. I think that can just stay in the action item as well. So Chief's report is probably the primary thing you're doing tonight.
Chief's report. To date, we've had 152 EMS calls and 31 fire calls. In total, 183 calls that the fire department has responded to. And, the fire department does its own transport to the hospital. Those are all calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Very proud of the fire department. I think their month of January was record setting. I think they had 77 calls in just the month of January. So I'm very proud. I've been on many calls over the weekend where the firefighters had to respond to 4 calls within an hour. Very proud of them. I think I was at the fire department, and I was on the phone, and they had 2 calls with one 911 phone call. It seemed like 2 different calls. They weren't at the same address. So the fire department's very busy, and recruitment's always been a top priority to accommodate the increase in calls. As I stated before, the fire department had a 18.4% increase in the number of calls from 2020. Now that's an average. So when I calculate 18.4%, I'm not taking a spike in a particular year and comparing them to 2020. That's an average of all the years since 2020. So last year, 23, we had, I think, 160 more calls than 24. Even including 24, you still had an 18.4% increase. So I'm just very proud of the fire department. Thank you.
Any questions of the chief with regards to his report?
Those to-date numbers, was that beginning January 1 or
I think, I at January 1 to today.
to today? Okay.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that the item number 2 under discussion items, meeting dates, and then the election of chair of the fire commission. Why don't we just move into our action items? In your packet, you will see that every year we have to set our meeting dates. Obviously, we are in the month of March, so our meeting schedule goes April 10th, 2025, all the way till next, actually, that'd be that'd be 26.
Yeah.
So April 10th, 2025, all the way to March 12th of 2026. We just need a motion to approve this. Moved by Bringard. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Cornhuffel. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Hey Kurt, I have one comment.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I got a report sent out on all the commissions and committees on anybody who was missing and if they were there less than the required 75%. So I appreciate you moving the meeting to today so that we could have everybody present. I think that makes sense whenever we have an issue, if there's vacations or something else, because there was a little pushback on if somebody missed. And then, of course, I pushed back and said, as a commission or committee, we should be empowered to make our own decisions and, you know, have a little bit more authority. But
Right.
I like the idea of moving the meeting sometimes if somebody can't make it.
Yeah, I mean, so everybody's schedules are tough, right? So
Right,
sometimes
I mean,
to do
we're all
this.
working and doing
Right.
different things and
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, again, we
don't
try
rub
to
it in,
accommodate.
Duncan.
And this commission has a small quorum, right? I mean, it's the smallest commission in the township, so
Right.
you lose 2, you know, it's a tough thing. So
Yeah.
I appreciate those comments.
Mhm.
All right, we have approved the meeting dates, and we'll make sure that Brian Friel is aware of that. The next item is approval, or we need to elect the chair of the fire commission going forward for the next fiscal year.
I make a motion that we appoint Kirk.
Chair Kobolak for
Two of
re-election.
us.
Motion by Bringard, is there support?
Second.
Second by Murdock. Questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. All right, the next action item is recommendation of fire chief to the township board. Those that are not aware, obviously, the township and the fire commission over the last few months have gone through the process of working on a way to appoint our next fire chief, Chief Camilleri. When he took this role several years back, he did that with the understanding, or our understanding, that he was not going to do this for life. And he has decided that, per his original understanding, that he was going to step away, I think, early April 6th. In light of that, it was necessary to post and go through an interview process for the next fire chief of Girl Seal. This commission met with 3 candidates that put their names in front of the commission to determine whether or not they could be the ones that would be selected to recommend to the township board. Obviously, we are just a recommending body. We are not someone that has the authority to appoint. We did have interviews. We went through the process. And so this evening is a time for this commission to make a recommendation to the township board. And then it's my hope that on the 24th of March, they would then take this as an action item. Mickey would take that item to the board for their action. So tonight would be the night that, based upon those interviews, pleasure of the commission as to what they would like to do, and if there's a motion in support, and then it would pass, it would then go to the township board for their meeting at the end of the month. If it doesn't pass, then we have to take the next step, but we'll see if there's a motion first and then we'll go from there.
I'd like to make a motion. Motion to recommend the appointment of Bob Roscoe as Groseal's next fire chief to the township board, with the understanding that the commission will work with the township manager to address and recommend to the township board the proposed chief's compensation, his benefits, and his educational program in advance of the Board of Trustees March 24th, 25 meeting.
Is there support?
Yes, I'd like to make the support, and I'd like to say this is the 5th fire chief.
Is your microphone on? Sorry. Is it on? There you go. Yeah, is it on? We can't.
It was on.
Okay, sorry.
Did the audio people not hear? Anyways, I second the motion for Bob Roscoe, and this is the 5th fire chief I've been involved in hiring, so congratulations, Bob.
Any other thoughts or comments with regards to the motion and the second? Derek, you're obviously in the audience. Part of the motion is actually sitting down with you prior to the board. That's something that we can accomplish? Absolutely. All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, a motion second, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. I will tell you that we will have Chief Camilleri for one more meeting. We'll address his retirement from chief at that time and address that in it's an appropriate way. But again, we appreciate everything you've done for the last 2 years. And Bob, appreciate you taking the time to step up and take the next step in your career. All right, moving on. Anything from the commission that we haven't addressed to date? And if not, we have a second public comment at the end of our agenda that anybody that wants to come to the podium can address the commission for any reason or for any manner. You just merely have to state your name and your address, and then more than happy to listen to your comments. Anybody in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Julia Roscoe, and I live at 8919 Bellevue Road. I wholeheartedly support and thank you for recommending my husband, Bob Roscoe, to be appointed as the fire chief of our island home, Groseal, Michigan. For the past 13 years, my husband has been an integral member and a cornerstone of the Groseal Fire Department. He is a committed and dedicated firefighter and emergency medical technician, always putting the needs of our citizens and community first. Over the past 2 years as the fire marshal for our Groseal Fire Department, my husband has worked tirelessly day and night to ensure the safety and preparedness of everyone on this island. Beyond his professional accomplishments with our fire department, Bob is an amazing and supportive husband and father, balancing his family life with his unwavering service to others. His leadership, dedication, professionalism, integrity make him uniquely qualified for this very important role. I have no doubt that he will lead the department with the same passion, commitment, and care that he has shown throughout his career here, always prioritizing the well-being of our community and the safety of his fire department team. Thank you again for your time and consideration. My husband, Bob Roscoe, has my highest recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're forgetting somebody in the audience. Was there another young lady in the audience? Hi.
Any other public comments? All right. We appreciate you coming out tonight. Obviously, our meetings are not the longest meetings, but we do accomplish a lot, and all you men and women accomplish more during the month than we do during this meeting. So we appreciate your time and effort for sure. Motion to adjourn would be in order.
Motion.
Motion by Murdoch, support Corneffel. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Have a good night.